Let us learn about ionic radius today. It is the distance between the nucleus and the electron in the outermost shell of an ion. So if you have to compare between atomic radius and ionic radius, atomic radius, for example, for sodium, it is 154 picometer, and ionic radius for sodium ion is 116 picometer, because cations are formed when electrons are lost from the outermost shell. So when electrons are lost, the entire shell is removed. So that's when the size of the atom now shrinks, and hence the ionic radius also is lesser than atomic radius. But on the other hand, if we take anion like fluorine atomic radius is 71 picometer, whereas fluoride ion F minus is 119, because anions are formed when electrons are added to the outermost shell. So because of this, the size of the radius increases, and hence the ionic radius also increases. Okay, so next, let us look at some of the properties of ionic radius. Metals usually form positive ions. They are formed when outer valence electrons are removed. That can be 1 or 2. Ions are smaller than their corresponding metals. The whole of the outer shell of electrons are removed or ionized. Ionized means removing the entire shell. The in metals, the effective nuclear charge is equal, or it is same, that is number of protons is equal to number of electrons. But when electrons are removed, then what happens? The number of protons and electrons are is there is imbalance. So number of protons will be more than number of electrons. So when that is a situation, then the nuclear charge will be more. So when nuclear charge is more, then they can hold all the electrons towards itself. So that's the reason why the size of the atom is less. Okay, that's why for cations, the ionic radius is smaller than that of the atomic radius, as we already saw in sodium. Okay, next, so this is an example of the electronic configuration. Fluorine is having 2 and 7, because atomic number of fluorine is 11, and fluoride ion, one electron gets added to the shell, and it is now 2 and 8, and it gets a negative charge. Next, this is the this is atomic radius of sodium, and sodium electronic configuration is neon and 3s1, and the electronic configuration is 2, 8, and 1. So let's understand some of the trends in ionic radii. So as we go down the group, ionic radius increases because size of the atom increase. So as we go from top to bottom of the periodic table, we all know that shells go on increasing because atomic number also increase. That is, there's electrons added to every shell. So that's why size of the atom increase, and ionic radius also increases. They'll give an example: lithium, sodium, potassium. If you compare, lithium ion is 0.76, sodium is 1.02, potassium is 1.38. Now, the second property is ionic radii decreases across a period from left to right. So, as we move from left to right, the atomic ionic radius decreases, because, as I already told you, effective nuclear charge is more because electrons are already lost. So, it will be having a grip over all the electrons. So, that's why they will shrink. Means the electrons will come close to the nucleus, and hence the the size of the atom is less, and hence the atomic ionic radius is also less. So sodium ion 1.02 angstrom. Compare that with aluminum ion Al3 plus, it's 0.535 angstrom. So here we can observe that the ionic radius is getting less and less. Third one, ionic radius decreases as more electrons are ionized off. That is, as the valency increases. Example, Cr2 plus. is 0.80 angstrom, Cr3 plus is 0.615 angstrom, Cr6 plus is 0.44. So as the electrons go on ejecting from the outermost electron, the effective nuclear charge will be more and more, and hence the ionic radius also will be going on getting lesser, because the power of the nucleus is very much more. As the electrons are lost, power of nucleus becomes more. So that's why the atom size also goes on shrinking. Okay, that's why you can see there is decrease in the ionic size as the number of electrons are getting ejected from the outermost electron. Okay, so thank you so much, students. In the next class we will learn about ionization energy.